Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 7 Minutes for Seniors. I'm Chris with Modified Independence, and I'm here on day 2 with my friend Cal Heseman with Gateway Business Advisors. So yesterday we learned a little bit about Cal, and so today we're going to talk about how exactly, so the first question, how do you help seniors?
Well,
because if you didn't help seniors, I wouldn't be talking to you.
yeah, well,
right?
There's a lot of seniors that are selling their businesses, and that's we work with other business owners as well. I mean, sometimes it's a serial entrepreneur that they've built the business up 3 or 4 years, they want to sell it, move on, start another one, or acquire one that they can build up, but many times the seniors are going through, one of them is going through a life-changing event, and either that individual needs to sell their business or their loved one owns a business and they need to sell the business so that they can help their loved one. So that's one reason I do some networking in the senior space.
And having a trusted advisor who's only looking out for the best interest of their client, right? You can't have a conflict of interest, so you're not going to work for both sides.
We do work with both sides.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of the time, we're typically what's called a transaction broker.
Okay.
So, but we can also do it the other way, where we have so as a transaction broker, we do not have a fiduciary responsibility.
Okay.
To the seller or the buyer.
Okay.
But we can set it up where we set it up differently, where we do have the fiduciary responsibility to the business owner, to the seller.
Right.
And then we have to let the buyer or the buyer's agent know that, hey, we do have this fiduciary responsibility.
Right.
So there's some rules there.
So for instance, like say I'm 100% owner of my company. I'm not. My wife and I have it set up 5149, right? But just say I was 100% owner of my company and something befalls my fate. I have a log truck that runs me over.
Yeah.
Right? If that's not in my will, if that's not in my final plans, then something would happen to my business, right? Or,
well, if your wife,
golly, you're popular,
knew enough about the business to keep running it, you've got I forget, you've got one lady now working with you?
Yeah, Jackie.
Jackie, yeah. If Jackie could continue to run it until, let's say she wanted to put it on the market, your wife wanted to put it on the market, and if Jackie could run it until then, that's one way of doing it. But many and most small, medium-sized business owners don't have a real plan if something like that was to happen. And then it may be a great business, but then the spouse ends up shutting it down.
Yeah.
Because they did not have a plan.
What do you have a feeling about what's that insurance called? Where you're like the only person, like the sole, or what's that, key
man insurance?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, well that would be like for the gal that works for you.
Right.
Key man insurance on her.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, the company could also be buying insurance, life insurance for you.
Right.
So that, heaven forbid, that truck runs you over. Now your wife would be able to collect that insurance money.
But that doesn't do anything to protect the business.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So is it best if you do own a business to talk to a lawyer and get that?
Yes, we're all about working with the team.
Yeah.
Who's your business attorney? Who's your CPA?
Right.
We don't just sit there and try to do all that. Well, we can give advice, but not legal advice. So
right.
we always want to know from a business owner, who is your business attorney? And if they don't have one, we'll recommend a couple they might want to check out.
Right. Because you're going to want somebody to read the contract, especially if you're getting ready to try to sell the business or whatever, making sure that your interests are protected.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you find that often that people are in a situation where they're getting later in life and they decide that they're going to sell their business? And
I worked with one a while back. This guy was 84 years old. He finally decided he wanted to sell his business. So,
yeah.
They're all different. A lot of the business owners, it's not like everybody wants to retire at age 65 or something. A lot of them keep it longer.
I guess the concern would be if you're selling your business that they're not going to like ruin the name that you've created or just buy the business to squash it so that their competition goes away.
Well,
right?
there are some owners that if they think the buyer doesn't know what they're doing, I don't want to sell to
Yeah,
that individual. We've built this business over 35 years, and we don't want it to run into the ground. So yeah, we see that
yeah.
they'll just even if that buyer makes a decent offer on the business, they're not going to accept it if they think that buyer is not qualified.
What's the craziest deal you've seen somebody walk away from?
Uh, this wasn't my deal, but one of the things we do, the business brokers do, if someone's selling their business, one of the things we need is a list of the furniture, fixtures, and equipment that's going to be sold with the business.
Mm-hmm.
And another broker had this situation where they were at the closing table. It was a restaurant, and they're looking at the list of furniture, fixtures, and equipment. And the buyer said, "Whoa, my gosh, that big fancy painting you've got in there in the main room, it was my understanding. For some reason, I thought that was coming with the business." And the seller said, "No, I got that from my father many years ago. That's not going with the business." The buyer got up and walked away, said, "I'm not buying it."
Oh, because of a painting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we see all kinds of things.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
People let a simple thing get in the way
Yeah.
of a good negotiation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. What's a deal that you never thought was going to go through that actually went through?
Well, I had one many years ago where we always ask the owner, we need a list of the personal expenses that you're running through the business, your life insurance, your health insurance, and so forth and so on. And are there any other personal expenses you're running through the business? Well, this couple was running virtually all of their expenses through the business. Horse feed for 8 horses, 4-wheeler payments,
Oh, wow.
motorhome payments. We added it all up. It was like $143,000 or $140,000, all their groceries.
Yeah.
140 some $1,000 worth of personal expenses. And if a buyer is going to get a small business administration loan, the bank will not, and the SBA, they will not accept all those personal expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So, long story short, I thought this deal may never close, but it was a really good, solid buyer, and we got the deal done. But
Oh, wow.
yeah, I mean, people don't like to pay taxes, but well, they were surprised. They said, "Good grief, we had no idea we were living that good."
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's been our second segment of 7 Minutes for Seniors. Thank you for being on. All of his contact information is coming up next. And if you didn't see the first episode, go back and check it out, and make sure you come back and check out our third episode tomorrow. Y'all have a great day.